I'm very much looking forward to this Ohara Davies Josh Taylor fight on Saturday. I've been back and forth about who I think is going to win in my head. At first I thought Ohara Davies. Then I discovered how big Josh Taylor actually is. Ohara Davies was back down at lightweight, or was down at lightweight earlier on in his career. I don't mean knocked down. I mean he was down as in at a lower weight in the lightweight division earlier on in his career, and fairly recently moved up to light welterweight, or super lightweight as they call it these days, 140 pounds. Whereas Josh Taylor has been a 140 pound fighter for his whole career. In fact, he's fought several fights above 140 pounds. So the size of Josh Taylor combined with his, in my view, impressive hand speed and impressive technique, maybe have to rethink this Ohara Davies fight. And at this point, people, I'm going to have to sit on the fence. Both teams are supremely confident in their fighters. If you listen to Ohara Davies' team, you've got his trainer, Peter Sims. He says that Ohara Davies could beat anyone in the 140 pound division. And people, the 140 pound division has people like Julius Ndongo and Terence Crawford in it. And here's his trainer saying, sorry, not Peter Sims, Tony Sims. Here's his trainer, Tony Sims, saying Ohara beats anyone in the division. Is that just hype? Or does he truly believe it? In my view, I think he truly believes it, because I've seen this confidence from the Ohara Davies team all along. From Tony Sims, from Ricky Burns, who has been sparring Ohara Davies for years. Ricky Burns and Kevin Mitchell have been singing Ohara Davies' praises since day dot. They say this kid is for real. One of the things that Tony Sims said, which I found interesting, was that Ohara Davies is a puncher on a pound for pound level equivalent to a Julian Jackson. That's what Tony Sims actually said. Now, that might be extreme, that might be way over the top, but one thing which people who have sparred Ohara Davies have said, and people on the circuit in the gyms in and around London have said, is that Ohara Davies is a terrific puncher, that he's very, very heavy-handed. And that's one of the things which makes him so effective. He might look clumsy at times. He might make certain mistakes, but when he hits people, it shocks them. It frightens them. It intimidates them. And that allows him to get away with certain mistakes that he makes. At the end of the day, you look at great fighters from the past. George Foreman, for example. From a technical point of view, George Foreman was terrible. I mean, terrible, people. Terrible defense. Sloppy. He had a very good jab, it has to be said. But from a technical point of view, George Foreman was awful. But his punching power was so tremendous that it made up for his multitude of technical flaws. Not just his punching power, his physical strength, his jab, so on and so forth. And he had decent timing. You just have to look at the Kenny Norton fight to see that. But still, Ohara Davies isn't just power either. He does have some attributes. He does have a good jab. He does have very long arms. But it's the punching power which seems to be the game changer in Ohara Davies' arsenal. That's what all his team all talk about, Ricky Burns and Kevin Mitchell and Tony Sims and everybody else. And all the people on the circuit in the gyms in London who have been touting Ohara Davies for a few years now. They all say this guy's punching power is something special, that he's very heavy-handed. Will that punching power be able to overcome the advantages that Josh Taylor has? The advantages in height, the advantages in hand speed, in coordination, perhaps foot speed too. And I say hand speed, certainly at least in combination punching. because some fighters have got quick hands when it comes to single shots, but when they have to put their shots together, the hands are not quite as quick. David Haye, I think, is a good example of that. When David Haye throws 3, 4, 5 shots, they're not usually that quick, but when he throws single shots or a 1-2, they're usually lightning quick. Josh Taylor is very quick when he's putting his shots together. Ohara Davies can throw quick single shots, but he's certainly not as fast a combination puncher as Josh Taylor. So, can Josh Taylor use his size? I mean, he seems to be the naturally bigger guy. His speed is seemingly superior coordination to get this fight won. The McGuigans are very confident. Team Davis is very confident. The fighters themselves, it's hard to read Ohara Davies sometimes because he's such a strange character. Certainly Josh Taylor seems supremely confident. Some people might even say Josh Taylor is overconfident. But he seems bullishly confident, almost arrogantly confident, that he's going to not only beat Ohara Davies, but do so in spectacular and dominant fashion. Davis, on the other hand, is a more difficult guy to read. The Taylor team believe that Davis is getting nervous now. But again, when you're dealing with someone who is as enigmatic as Ohara Davies is, he is more difficult to read. It's kind of like trying to read Derek Chisora. I did get a bit of a read on Chisora going into the Vitaly Klitschko fight, which is why I was one of those people who felt like Chisora wouldn't freeze in the fight and that he would give it a good go. Because I'd seen him do certain things which most people in his position would be embarrassed about. And he wasn't embarrassed in the slightest, which told me that he didn't care about what people think of him. And when you go into a boxing match, the fear really is not getting in the ring and getting hit. The fear is getting in the ring and losing in front of thousands of people and feeling humiliated because of what people are now thinking about you. So if you remove the care, if you remove the worry about what people think, then you're likely to be less nervous. And that's what I saw in Derek Chisora going into the Vitaly Klitschko fight. With Ohara Davies, I haven't got as good a read on him as I had on Del Boy at that particular time. So I'm not sure if Ohara's nervous right now, if he's supremely confident. I'm not really sure. He's a very enigmatic guy. Maybe some of you guys could give your interpretation on Ohara Davies's demeanor right now and where you think he is mentally. Again, as far as the fight itself, I'm going to have to sit on the fence. I'm not sure who's going to win this fight. Initially, I did pick Ohara Davies, but I don't know, the height, the speed, the amateur pedigree of Josh Taylor has made me sit on the fence. Whoever wins, I hope it's a good fight, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one. It's going to be on Channel 5, great for boxing. Boxing in the UK is absolutely flying. And 2017 in general has been an incredible year for boxing. I mean, this might be the best year boxing has had for several decades. That's how good it is. That's how good it's shaping up. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. It's happening. I'm out.